What up guys, welcome to Angela Avalon's YouTube channel. I'm Angela. Subscribe, hit the like button and do book a reading with me because I have a 50% sale going on, so you could get your reading as cheap as $10. So that's a pretty good deal. And if you've already been subscribed to my channel for a while, then you know I go deep in my videos, and you know my astrology videos are pretty high quality. So I provide a high quality service. And so tonight or today, whenever it is that you are watching this video, I'm going to talk about Mercury in Virgo. Okay, so Mercury in Virgo. So what is Mercury? Mercury is the planet of communication. It is the planet of the way of thinking or speech. It basically has everything to do about how our brain functions, the way we use our logical, rational mind. And so when it comes to Virgo, so Virgo is actually ruled by Mercury. Okay, Virgo is a mutable earth sign that is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is pretty much at home here. Actually, Mercury is exalted in here. So it's a pretty good placement. I think it's exalted in here. It's also at home in Gemini. Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, so it's at home in both. But I'm pretty sure that it is exalted in Virgo. By exalted, it means that it's the best placement for Mercury. But me personally, even if Mercury was exalted in Gemini, I would consider it exalted in Virgo, me specifically. But yeah. So with all that being said, Mercury in Virgo. So Mercury in Virgo people. These people were really they're really observant. Okay. They're really observant, and they do notice pretty much everything. Okay, when Mercury is in here, when our Mercury, the planet that rules the mind, when it's in here in Virgo, this is the placement that will this is the placement that will make a person very analytical, you know. But what do I mean by that? I mean by when you put Mercury here in Virgo, not only that these people notice everything, they have a very keen mind. They have a very a mind that operates very much like a computer, I want to say. It's very much like when these people speak, okay, if you have a conversation with them, you can tell that when they speak, every single thought in their thoughts, right, in their head, it sounds like they're instinctively and very quickly scan what they're going to say as they say it, you know. It's very much the scanner placement for Mercury. Excuse the darkness, I'm just drinking my green tea here in the room, and I'm trying. By the way guys, excuse the noise in the fan in the background, the noise that comes from the fan in the background. So yeah, so Mercury here in Virgo pretty much makes someone what I like to call the scanner. What do I mean by a scanner? Well, these people, you know, because they are very detailed and analytical, they pretty much they have a very sharp eye as well as a sharp mind. They're very good at analyzing people and knowing when where people are coming from without people actually having to really explain it all to them. They are similar to the Scorpio here, to the Mercury in Scorpio, but with Scorpio it comes from more of from a psychic sense, and here in Virgo they're just really good analytical and critical thinkers. That's why they are very good at scanning people. These people could make great psychologists and therapists, psychiatrists. And one of the ways that it goes is that even when they talk, you can really see it in their speech. Like their eyes would go like like you can really see how the speed or of which they process all the thoughts. You could really see the not only the way that they process their thoughts in their head, but also the speed that it comes to them, because Mercury is the fastest planet in the solar system, and having it within Virgo, which is also the sign that the planet rules. It's gonna make for someone a fast thinker as well as a critical thinker, and an analytical thinker. So not only do they know how to really arrange their speech very practically and kind of flawlessly. When I see Mercury in Virgo people speak, it's amazing. They really have a fine way of speaking and making their points. Very practical, very to the point, and it's very fast. But unlike Gemini, they're not like chaotic and all over the place. They're fast, but they're very steady. Steady, almost like balanced. These people have a very balanced way of talking. Their speech is very balanced, yet it's quick. They don't take forever to get to their point, and they don't beat under the bush pretty much ever. Like, these people just get to the point very quickly, and they do it very steadily. That's why you can, and because of the speed here with Mercury, you can really see it kind of like in their face while they actually speak. Like I said, their eyes were like it's kind of hard to explain, but you can just tell how they navigate their mind. It's just very comfortable. Mercury is very comfortable here. That's what I mean. So the speech is very like comfortable and to the point. It's like all perfect, perfect, like flawless, if you will. It really is. Yeah. So now that I covered the analytical side of displacement and the observant side of displacement, we'll go to the point of critique, of why these people are very critical. Well, the reason they're very critical is, first of all, because, like I said, they notice everything. Which, what does it mean when someone notices everything? They notice the flaws. They notice the mistakes that they push, the everything that is not correct, and they have a great need to fix it. Now, they can get a bit annoying to some people with certain placements, because they can be a bit nitpicky, or at least they can come off, or come across as nitpicky. But really, this is just how their mind operates. But depends on the rest of the chart and their overall vibration as as human beings, as humans. Because what can happen, or especially if they have like a Virgo stellium, or just another personal planet in Virgo, like Moon. If they have like a Moon and Mercury in Virgo, or like a Mars and Mercury in Virgo, or just a stellium, what can happen is that they might like, because they notice everything, they might, and they do usually notice, when people gain weight, when people lose weight, when people, so they can critique someone, like if someone they know or someone in their surrounding, if they gained weight, like I said, usually, but it will take other placements to support it. I've seen it play out also. I personally know two people with displacement. They're my father and my grandma. For my father's side, and they're both very, very critical, especially my grandma. But she has placement that, she has a moon in Aries and a Venus in Virgo, and she really has no problem to pinpoint your flaws, even in public or around other people. So I'm saying depends on the rest of the chart, if the person is either healthy or not, because if they need to heal, or they have old wounds, or they grew up in a toxic home, when people allow themselves to critique and judge people left and right, without much tact, then they can do that. My grandma is like that, and she but yeah, but overall, just displacement alone, it just would make someone just to notice the flaws of people around them. So they might not pinpoint it out, but they out loud, but in their head they definitely will. These people probably critique a lot. This is the placement that can make someone very judgy, even if it's just in their head. They can be judge of people all day long. Why? Because they notice everything. It's the mind here. So Mercury in Virgo, they will just, they notice, and they might critique people all day long in their mind and put people down in their mind. But it's not just with other people. Usually it's the way they're criticizing other people in their mind, they're even more criticizing themselves. Especially if they have like Mars in Virgo, Moon in Virgo, they can be pretty harsh with themselves. They can talk pretty harshly with themselves, similar to the Mercury in Capricorn. But only here, Mercury in Virgo people, they can overthink. They definitely can struggle with overthinking, especially if Mercury is afflicted, and they can over critique, definitely. And yeah, it can make for a judgmental mind, even if they don't actually judge people out loud or critique people out loud, they would definitely do that in their mind. It's kind of impossible not to with displacement, because like I said, they know this. It's the scanner, it's Mercury in Virgo is the scanner, so they notice everything, so naturally they almost can't help it, because their instincts are already picking up on the flows around them, whether it's people, things, because like I said, it's everything. So it can be from people to things or objects, like this is the kinds of people that might have because they critique so much and over critique and over analyze, they can be the kinds of people that might have a problem with everything, like the way the table is set, or the way people set the table, the way people write material, the way the walls are painted, the way the curtains look like. Yeah, it's a bit of an erotic placement for for Mercury, definitely. Mercury in Virgo, they can really be. I wanna say they can be downright obsessed with the details, but it's kind of unavoidable with this placement, or just like any other personal planet in Virgo. Mercury in Virgo is very. because they it's a gift, though. I would say that their attention to detail is both a gift and a curse. uh, and the gift side of it is that they can be great interior designers. Like I said, they have a good eye, they have a sharp eye, they have pretty much of a good taste, but their good taste comes from their sharp eye, if that makes sense. So they can be great interior designers, they can be great what the translators, yeah, that's the word. I think that's I was looking for the word. Well, anyways, yeah, they can be great interior designers, they can be great translators. I think that's how you said that, translators. Yeah, they can be great teachers. Mercury in Virgo is a fantastic placement for a teacher of any kind. They can be very skilled at I want to say they can be very skilled lawyers even. This is a good placement, pretty good placement for a lawyer, only because they're very analytical and practical, and they're not really because the intellect operates here on an ideal level, so they can be great lawyers as well. But yeah, it can but their attention to detail is both a gift and I want to say a curse, because at least for some people it might feel like a curse, or at least for some people that are dealing with them, sometimes it can feel like a curse, right? Like the more of the negative side of this placement. Because, like I said, these people really don't really have the ability to ignore what their mind is paying attention to. Like, their mind pays attention to everything, right? So, for example, they can be very but it can go as casual as they're watching a movie, right? They can watch a movie or a show, and because they have such a sharp eye, they can notice, like one of those people that they can definitely, because they have such a sharp eye, they can notice a woman they can notice early stages of pregnancy in a woman, like very early stages, when just a tiny bit, when most people wouldn't notice, they will notice. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. They notice the details that usually most people do not notice, and systematically and automatically glance over. There's no detail that they're ignorant to. That's what I mean. Because the opposite is Pisces. If Pisces rules obliviation, right? Obliviation, being oblivious. Virgo rules everything that opposes that. They're very sharp. They have a sharp eye. They have a sharp mind. And so these people might notice early stages of pregnancy. They might notice just very minor, like, okay, let's say there's this huge painting and it's all black, right? Like a black canvas. They will notice this one tiny dot that is not black, that is some other color. Hope that makes sense. It's almost like this tiny dot, this tiny spot will not exist for other people but them. And and this reference that I was going to, use as an example with the movie, what that was actually happened with my dad. One time me and my dad were watching, it wasn't like a movie thing, it was like this TV show that I was watching at the time, so on the TV, and my dad just, glanced, what I was watching, whatever. He used to do that when I would be watching shows. And he said, "Oh, I think this actress is pregnant." She wasn't. Mind you, she was. I knew she wasn't. But he thought she was like early in a pregnancy because she had like a little bit of belly. But really, she didn't have a belly. This actress, she was actually pretty thin, skinny, right? Not only that she was skinny, she was actually a model. Outside of acting, she also did modeling, I think, and she was, blonde, blue eyes, and she was skinny and tall, but it's not that she had a belly, or maybe that day she was bloated or something, but she was in these uniforms that they had in the show, whatever, right? I don't want to go off subject, but point is she wasn't, and she was pretty thin, and that's why my dad thought she was pregnant, because she was pretty, she was a skinny woman, so I was like, she's skinny but she has a bit of a belly, must be pregnant, but she wasn't. It was just the outfits they were wearing in that show that made her look a bit bloated. But anyways, point is, that's a Mercury in Virgo. They just can't help but notice everything, like like that. They really do notice everything. Yeah, only that, what I like to think, I so far haven't seen anybody who thinks about these two signs like that, but I like to think about Virgo and Scorpio in a way, like friends, even though they're completely different, but like they have this common ground of like scanning people and everything. But usually it's like, but with Scorpio it's like, with Virgo it's just practical. So if with Virgo it's practical and physical, in the physical realm, Scorpio is like emotional and spiritual. It's a different kind of scanning, but it's, like I said, they're friends. They're not like brothers, but they're friends. That's how I like to refer to Virgo and Scorpio in this concept. But that's really the only common thing about them, and the fact that they tend to worry. But it's really not so much Virgo here in Mercury in Virgo. It's like a moon in Virgo, but whatever. Anyways, yeah. And so the last thing I'm gonna mention in this video, I'm just gonna mention this, just gonna add this thing, and then I'm gonna wrap up the video, is that these people can be over concerned with perfection, but it's really to the point where, it's really to the point because they like things to be, they can be workaholics, they can overwork themselves, yeah, because I feel like most of, astrologers, when it comes to Mercury and Virgo, they'll say it, Virgo likes perfection and everything. Yeah, but it really is, that need for perfection comes from their overworked mind. These people can overthink themselves to death, especially if they have auto planets in Virgo, personal planets. Really, it's that. And yeah, they do want things to be perfect, but it's like, Virgo is also very realistic, so they might actually also realize that it's not really possible. So yeah, they might want it and they might have a need for perfection, but really they also realize that it's impossible. And really, it just comes from the need to just do things better. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm also, before I wrap up this video, I'm trying to think about something, maybe about something that I missed, that I forgot to mention, but or maybe I just make a part 2, but yeah. And what, it is somewhat of a modest placement in Virgo, and I know that many astrologers think, they do think of Virgo as being modest, and it is true, but again, depends on the rest of the chart, because if they have like a Aries placement, if they have like a moon in Aries, Mars in Leo, then they will not be that modest, or at least they'll be very entitled, or what, it really depends on the bottom line. It really depends on the rest of the chart. That's what I mean. Well, you know what, yeah, so with all that being said, maybe I'll make a part 2. Let me know if you want a part 2. This video was in a way requested, and yeah, so and I was trying to think if I have anything more to add, but no, but yeah. Well, anyways, like I said, I might make a part 2. So yeah, do let me know in the comments down below if you want a part 2 and if this resonated, and do hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and do book a reading with me. I have 50% sale going on, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, so you can get your reading as cheap as $10. So yeah, so I'll see you in the next one. Peace.